everyone, it's Miss Sarah, and we're going to do an ELA lesson on Native Americans. And it's an important person. But first, let's go over our rules. Rule number one, eyes are watching. Rule number two, ears are listening. Let's turn on our ears. Rule number three, voices are quiet. Rule number four, body is calm. All right. So, like I said before, we are going to learn about some important people. And when I mean an important person, I'm talking about this person. This person is one of our presidents. This person's name is Barack Obama, and he is our president. So, he is a very important person. So today we are going to learn about people called Native Americans. But first, we are going to talk about how things have changed over the years. So in this picture, in this picture we have this page, we have four pictures. We have, nowadays, a lot of people talk on phones, on their cell phones. We have computers to help us do our work and to play games. We can watch TV and play video games. And we can go grocery shopping to get our food. Let's see. In this page, we have, on this one, we live in a country that is called the United States. And in the United States, we can do all these things. We can talk on our phones. We can use computers. We can watch TV. And we can go grocery shopping. But that wasn't always the case. Nowadays, we have two places where we can live. We can live in a busy city with many buildings and streets and cars, like downtown Rochester, if you've ever been there, to like the baseball stadium or the soccer stadium or maybe a strong museum of play. Those are all things in the city of Rochester. Or you can live in the country, like where Miss Sarah lives. She doesn't see these kind of buildings where she lives. All she sees is green grass, fields with corn, and lots of tractors. I get stuck behind a tractor every day on the way to come teach you guys. They take up our roads, and we have to wait and drive behind them very slowly. Some people have the big cities or with lots of traffic. And some people live in the country where there's lots of green grass and tractors. So Miss Sarah lives in the country. And we are very close to the city. All right. So we have, here's another picture of a city. This is a busy, busy, busy city. There are many, many, many towns and cities. There are many people, cars, and buildings. But things in the United States were not always the way they were today. Ooh. So it wasn't always like this. It was like this. And we see some of this, but not always. Can you believe it that where we lived was always like this? There was no cars, there was no grocery stores, there was no cities or houses or buildings or parks. It was just like this. Long, long ago, before your mother and father were born, and even long before your grandparents were born, the United States looks very different. There were no phones, no computers. There were no tall buildings, no cars, no tractors, and no grocery stores. Not as many people lived here either. So it was just trees and animals. But there were a few people here. Sorry, friends, I turned to the wrong page. 1 second. Here we go. There were a few people here called Native Americans. The Native Americans also knew. Wait, here. Did I skip a page? I did. I was on the right page first. I'm sorry. Here we go. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to get mixed up. In a time, long, long time ago, 400 years ago, there were trees and rivers. There were rocks and mountains. There were wild animals like deer and birds. The only people who lived here way back then were called Native Americans. Native Americans knew many things about how to live here way back then. They knew how to plant seeds in the ground to grow corn, pumpkins, and beans to eat. Oh, so these people lived off the land. They knew how to build houses out of sticks and tree bark. They knew how to go fishing and catch fish. These Native Americans knew how to plant seeds to grow pumpkins and to grow corn. And there's beans in this basket. And they cooked over a fire. These people are called Native Americans. And they lived long, long, long ago. They also knew how to hunt deer, turkey, and fish. So they knew how to go get fish. And they lived off the land with the animal meat. And sometimes they used the animal skins to have clothing. A lot of the stuff that we have here that we go to the store and get, they couldn't do. They had to use it off the land. Native Americans also knew how to build houses. Some Native Americans used materials that they could find, like branches, tree bark, and animal skins. They knew how to make baskets out of straw. So the women and children used to make baskets here out of straw. They knew how to make their clothing from skins and furs of the animals that they hunted. So they would have their meat to eat, and then they would use their fur and their skins for their clothing. They knew how to have fire to cook their food, and Native Americans long ago lived very differently from the ways we live today. So they had to do everything off the land. They couldn't go to the grocery store and get food. If they wanted to talk to somebody, they had to go to other people's houses, and they were very, very far away. They couldn't pick up the phone. They had no computers to talk to, and they didn't have TV. They made games that they played with and stuff like that. Um, so that's it for today. That is all about Native Americans. They were the first people to live off the land in the United States where we live today. And they had to eat and sleep and survive off the land. Okay, friends, that's all we have for today. Until next time, bye.